Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie. And happy Friday, Karen. I see that you're already on. Good to see you. Let me check now and make sure we're live, although we must be, or you wouldn't be on, Karen. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay, so I see that we are. How are you today, Karen? We're live. Okay, I need to get that turned down. There we go. Okay. So, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Roz, good to see you. Ellie had a bath today. Yeah, we are having a card class tomorrow morning, and we're having quite a few ladies, and so Ellie had to get her bath. I don't know why she's sitting like that. It's kind of funny. But Lori, good to see you. Yes, I don't know what's the matter with her. But anyway, we're getting ready for tomorrow, and we're doing two projects today, you guys, and the projects are ones that we're going to be doing tomorrow. But I don't think anybody will be on here. So Ruth might see it. Okay, then Ruth will have a head start for tomorrow. Pam, oh, good, you got your Happy Meal today. Good. I hope you guys are doing well. Did you notice today is Friday, 7/11? I mean, that doesn't happen all that often, does it? I guess it happens once a year. Karen is on a level 2 evacuation. Hi, Jeanne. Tell me about that. What does that mean? I want to hear from Rome, Georgia. Christina, good to see you. Michelle, good to see you. Oh my gosh, 105 in Sacramento. Wow, we're 96 here. Karen, tell us what is a level 2 why are you having to evacuate? Let us know. I'm slightly concerned. Is that because of a storm? Michelle is, yes, Michelle. I saw that, 105 in Sacramento. Linda, good to see you. Yes, I hate to hear if anybody's has to evacuate. 7-Eleven has free Slurpees today. Oh boy. Jan, yes, there's still a level 2, but the smoke has diminished. Oh, okay. Get bags packed and be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Fires in Southern Oregon. Oh, I'm so sorry. I totally get it. Yes, be safe. We totally get it down here. We've had many fires down here. Hi, Georgia. Good to see you. We really understand. We've had to evacuate in the past also. I totally get it. So if you have to go, we want you to go. We totally understand. And this is from now on, for us anyway, from now on is bad weather. We had lightning strikes a few days ago and it started fires. Yeah. Yeah, stay safe. We want you to stay safe. Okay, so I was telling some of the girls we're having a card class tomorrow, and we're going to make 2 projects today that we're going to make at the card class. So I'm really excited. I want to leave plenty of time to show you. Tina, steamy Granite Falls, North Carolina. Yep, it's getting to be that time, the real hot summertime. Colleen, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Well, I want to allow plenty of time for us to do our 2 projects that I have today. So I'm going to put Ellie down and just talk a little bit about some announcements. So let me actually we'll put Ellie down and turn you down. See if we can do this a little bit. Okay. So today is the last day for the 20% off on the two-tone cardstock. I hope that some of you have been able to take an advantage of that sale. Hi, Mary Lou. Good to see you. And Tracy. The last few hours of this sale. Oh, Ross, they're talking about evacuating. Okay, yes, it's good. You have the hurricane issue and we have more of the fire issue. Okay, so we've talked about two-tone cardstock. We used it last Wednesday. Don't miss out on this great sale, 20% off. If you're a demonstrator, you add that to your demo discount. And if you're not a demonstrator, it's a great time to become one and get even more of a discount. So don't forget about that. And then today, it's a lot of last days today. Last days for things. And so today is the last day to pre-order my mini Christmas in July mini retreat to go. And I thought I would just show you. I have a few places left, a few spots left, and I thought I would just show you what comes in your kit. You're going to get a half a package of the Season of Elegance paper. You get the Jar of Joy stamp set. And if you have that and you want to substitute any Stampin' Up! Product for that amount, that's fine. You're going to get 2 full packages of embellishments. You're going to get not a full red and white striped baker's twine, but some, and a full package of this gold mesh ribbon, which is so beautiful. And you're going to make 8 complete cards. Dr. Robin and I have combined to make this a fun retreat. You're going to get pillow gifts. Some of them just came in the mail today. And so we're going to be giving pillow gifts, and I'm going to show you a sneak peek of my 4 cards. Just a quick sneak peek, okay? They're using the Jar of Joy stamp set and the Jolly Holly bundle, which you can get. This comes with it, the Jolly Holly bundle. You can have as an add-on. And I always have and I do have a link right above for Facebook, down below for YouTube. It says something about crafting. Just click right on there and it'll tell you all the details. So here are my 4 cards, and they are just fun, fun, fun. And there is one from the Jolly Holly, and here's the second one from the Jolly Holly bundle. Okay, so that's it. Just a sneak peek, but you get PDFs, you get videos, you get all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Georgia. Yes, we are going to have a great time. So grab that if you want to get your cards made in advance, and we are so excited. Okay, and I'm also very excited about today's projects. We are going to use the Painterly Pears Suite, which is an online exclusive that just came out July 2nd, July 1st, anyway. It's just it's not very old. It just recently was released in the online exclusives. And I have a really special project today. I've made this really cute card folder, greeting card folder, using the Painterly Pears. And you open it up, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make this folder with all the measurements and everything. And then we're going to make one of the 4 cards. And this is exactly what my class is going to make tomorrow. They're going to make the folder and 1 card. These are the 4 cards made from the Painterly Pears Suite. Aren't they? This suite is just so, so pretty. And you can fit all 4 cards into the folder, okay? And I'm going to show you how to make that. So you'll get, if you put the word prize, you're going to get the folder and not all 4 cards, just one of the cards, because we're only going to make one today. I need these 3 to display for tomorrow. But I like gifting cards, and this is just a really easy and quick way to gift some cards and just slip them really quick in this little folder. So let's see how to make it. And I'm going to make the whole thing with you so that you know all the measurements and everything to do. So we need our paper trimmer, and it takes an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. We're using Mossy Meadow today. This is the Perfectly Pears. So the suite is called Painterly Pears, And the bundle is called Perfectly Pears. So we're using all of the stuff today. And we're going to throw in a little sentiment from Everyday Arches because I really like this Embrace the Journey. Pam, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So let's get started. And here's what we need to make the folder. And I think it could have another folder. Do you guys know of another name? Do you guys know of a different name for this? I'm just calling it a card folder, but it might have a different name. If you can think of a different type of name for that, let me know. Okay, so we've got our 8.5 by 11 piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock, and here's what we're going to do. On the long side, we're going to score it at 5.5, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch on each edge. Okay, so 1/2 here, like that, and I'm just going to flip it right over and score it again on the 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're going to go on the long side and we're going to score it at 2.5 inches. Right here. Okay, now what we're going to do is pocket folder. Yes, yes, Christina, thank you so much. Folio, pocket folder, I think is what I was looking for. I wanted to use a proper term. Okay, now we're going to go back up and we're going to cut this 1/2 inch section off. I guess I could have done it when I was scoring it, but I really needed the 2.5 inch score mark. We're just going to cut that section off. So I put it again on the 1/2 inch mark, pull my cutting blade, and come down to the 2.5 inch mark right here. Okay. And then we're going to do that on the other side also. We want to cut that part off. This is going to make that little pocket fold really nicely. Okay, and we just come right down there. Okay, great. Now we're going to take our scissors and just trim off these pieces right here. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this here so you can see it. Here's the score line, and I've cut down to the score line. And then I'm going to do just a little angle, and that is so that it folds in nicely. So let me set it down. So that's how it will look. This is your 2.5 inch score mark. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on this side and just put a little bitty angle right like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to leave my paper trimmer right here, and I'm going to get out my ruler and a pencil. And let me get my pencil. I didn't have that set out here. Pencil. Actually, I could use a little white gel marker, I think. Okay, so we want to put our center line on any inch mark. And we want to go out 1/2 inch to the left and 1/2 inch to the right. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to put a dot there because this is dark and we need to see it. Okay, now we're going to go back with our trimmer. The only thing about this is it might not be dry, but it makes a great mark. You can really see that white on there. Can you see those little white marks? And we're going to cut an angle right there. And so let's do it this way. You kind of have to move your cardstock about, and we want to get that little dot. Let me put it over here because I see that you can't see it. Okay, the little center dot and this both on the cutting area. So I can see that little dot, and let me move this so I have this both dots in the cutting area, in the cutting trough, I think they call it. You could do this by hand, and we're just going to go up like that and cut. Let me cut a little further. Oh, well, that's a little bit far, but okay, that's all right. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and we're going to cut from the one dot to the other dot. I guess I like to do it with the paper trimmer because it just makes a cleaner line than if you cut it by hand. Okay, there we go. So now we have, and that little white won't be seen, so let me put that down. Okay, so this is the base, or this is the folder. So now what we need to do is we're just going to fold on all the lines and score them. So we're going to fold on our center line and score that. We're going to fold on these little side tabs and score. A burnish. And then we're also going to fold and burnish right here. So everything is nice, just like that. Okay, and to create our folder, all we need to do is turn in. Oh, good, you got the Cheers and Sips card, Debbie, good. So what we do is we fold in our little sides like this, and we can use either tear and tape or we could use glue. And I'm going to go ahead and use some tear and tape. Things are falling over up there. I'm just going to use a little bit of tear and tape because I know it'll hold it nice and tight. Okay. And what we're going to do is just put a little bit of tear and tape right on the inside here, on both edges. And this is going to hold that little pocket. It creates the little pocket for the cards and holds it up there nice and tight. And when I use my tear and tape, I always like to really press it down with my bone folder to make sure it's really going to adhere there and it won't come off. I feel more secure about it that way. Okay, now we're just going to pull that up. Just get a little piece going. There we go. And we can fold this right up like that, and that creates a little pocket. And we'll do the same thing on this side. And just fold that up. And then again, press down to make sure it adheres. And there's our little folder. And now all we have to do is decorate it. Isn't that fun? Okay, so in order to create to make it like the one I showed you, the sample, I have cut, and the folder itself, if you want to know, the end measurements turn out to be 5 by 5.5, I think. Oh no, 5 by 6. Okay, 5 by 6. And then this is a piece of the Country Lace Designer Series paper in Petal Pink. And I've cut this piece 4.5 by 5.5. And we're just going to go ahead and put this down on this mossy meadow. I think it looks really, really pretty. Just like this, kind of centering it everywhere so it's framed nice and evenly, or as much as possible. You know, it can't be perfect. Hello, Renee, good to see you. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put on some ribbon, and I'm going to use Darling Duckling ribbon because the sheet of the Painterly Pears Designer Series paper that I'm going to use has the Darling Duckling in it, and I think this just looks so nice. So what we want to do is have the ribbon come around the outside, both the front and the back, so that you can tie it, okay? So that's how we want it to end up. And I'm going to put it down about 3/4 of the way. So what I'm going to do is, again, use my tear and tape to hold the ribbon in place, because this might get some heavy use, right? Because they might be opening and closing and so forth. So I'm just going to put some tear and tape like this, right along here. And we don't need to go all the way to the edge, just almost. Just press that down and then pull it up. pull up that little paper, and now what we can do is adhere one side before you adhere the other one, okay? So we'll do the back side here in a minute, but in the meantime, we want to make sure that we have our ribbon coming out equally at the tip there, okay? So now we can come down like this, and we're going to just put that right over that tear and tape. And now we know that ribbon is not going to be going anywhere. And we can just go over to the back side, and now you really don't need to even worry about where it is. You just put it right in the center of where you think that ribbon is going to end up, just like that. So it's a pretty quick way to do it. And this, you don't have to have a ribbon on the outside to tie a bow, but I just think it makes it so pretty. Oh, that's making a funny noise. Okay, now I see, because I cut in too far there, there's just a little piece sticking out. Okay, so there's our folder. We're already ready to go. Now we just have to decorate it a little bit more. But isn't that cute? I really like doing this. Okay, so I have gone ahead and cut a frame. Actually, I had one left over from a bunch of stuff I did. I had one of these frames left over from the Gallery Blooms die set that cuts 2 different sizes of frames. And I just had this one left over, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that look pretty? Right on the front there. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to put this little bit of the Painterly Pears Designer Series paper right inside. So the frame is the smaller of the 2 frames, and it is almost 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then I just cut this piece not quite 2 by 4 because I want it to fit right on the inside, just like that. So let's go ahead and glue this. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue right on the back of the frame, and then I'll hover it over the Designer Series paper. Just a little bit, okay. Just like that, and then we're going to hover over to get it pretty centered. Just like that. I did get a little bit on my surface there. So isn't that cute? Just framing it. This paper is so gorgeous. I just can't stand it. I love it. Every piece is so beautiful, and I guess, you know, this isn't exactly perfect in the center, but that's okay. Nobody knows. And in the card making world, what people don't know, we don't tell them. Not going to hurt them, right? So I'm just going to put some dimensionals to lift this up and make sure nothing, there is a tiny, tiny bit showing up there. Let's just trim that little bit off. Okay. Look at how pretty that pear is. Okay, now we're just going to put this down. This makes such a pretty little front, and especially when the cards inside are coordinated with the whole suite. Okay, now let's just center this over to the side because we want to have some room to tie our bow. So that's on, and now we're going to do our sentiment. And I have gone ahead and cut with Stylish Shapes dies, I think, a circle out of Petal Pink cardstock, and we're going to stamp our sentiment right on here. And again, I mentioned the sentiment I'm using is, I just like this sentiment, embrace the journey, from the Everyday Arches. It's this sentiment. The ones from the Pears, we could have used A Good Friend as a Gift, but I don't know. I just wanted this one for the front. And you know, we get to choose whatever we want to use, right? Okay, so we're just going to stamp this in Old Olive ink, or you could use Mossy Meadow, but I'm using Old Olive. embrace the journey. And really, this is pretty much finished. Now all we do is lift this up on dimensionals, and we're going to put some cute little embellishments on there. So let's put these on each side here. We want to put them on the outside because it's going to be covering the edge, which is already lifted up. Okay, so embrace the journey. And then the Painterly Pears Suite has the most gorgeous embellishments. These are called low profile sparkle dots, you guys. Look at these. Are these not gorgeous? This is, I think it's Secret C. And let me see if it says here. No, it doesn't say. I know this is Darling Duckling, and I'm not 100% sure of that one. But they're beautiful. It's just beautiful. And I thought because we use the Darling Duckling ribbon, that we'll go ahead and use the Darling Duckling colored dots. Okay, so we'll put one, and just put them wherever you want. We're just going to put 3 of them on here. Or you could get really crazy and put a bunch more. Put one down there. Put as many as you want, as much bling as you want. Crowns. I don't know what you mean crowns, Lori. Whoops, where did that go? Okay, let's see. I think we might just put one right over here. Okay, so there's our little card folder. Crowns. What do you mean crowns? Okay, so now we're just going to make a card to fill inside. And this will hold, I maybe probably shouldn't have used that white gel pen because it got a little bit of white right on there, just little dots, but we're not going to let it bother us. And you can put 4 cards in without envelopes, okay? So just the cards without the envelopes. If you want to put the envelopes, probably you're going to want to put 2. One over here and one over here, because more than that with envelopes makes it too fat. So there's our darling little card folder. Now let's make our card. Here's the card we're going to make to go inside. And let me get out all the goodies to make the card. And it uses a different one of the beautiful papers. So we're just going to use a standard piece of Petal Pink cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5. Thank you, Tracy. And I decided to do all the cards that I made for the folder in one design, and that is just cutting a piece of designer series paper and leaving, I think it's maybe 3/4 of an inch over there. Yes. So this piece is 3.5 by 5.5. And I just really like the look of it. It's an easy card to make. And so you can make 4 different ones using this designer series paper, and it's really easy. So I cut this piece of paper, and then this is the actual ribbon that comes with this suite. It's so beautiful. It's Mossy Meadow and gold trim. And all we're going to do is cut a tiny... What's happening? It's the dog. She's doing something. What are you doing? You playing? She's playing around, I guess. Okay, so we just need a little bit to go around the card. It just adds some... I love this ribbon. It's just gorgeous. Doesn't it look... Can you see it? There, you can now see the sparkle. Let me see if I can hold it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then the other side is the Mossy Meadow, but I prefer to use the gold, okay? So all we're going to do is adhere it right on the back, about 2/3 of the way down our card. And I'm going to go ahead and just use, instead of glue, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Stampin' Seal Plus. I don't use it very often because it doesn't allow me to move things around the way I like, but it does hold pretty well. And so I'm going to adhere it there and bring this around. And then I know where to put my Stampin' Seal right there. So now I can fold it this way. And now that is adhered to the back, okay? Now all we have to do is glue it down. And we have the beginnings of a very pretty card. Then we're going to decorate it a little bit with some more things from the Painterly Pears. And the little trick here is just to make sure you get it right up to the corner and right at the corner on both sides, or rather the top and the bottom. And that is the beginning of a really, yes, it would be great for a craft fair. I totally agree. So that, now all we have to do is decorate it. And I wanted to use some of the little things. I want to use some of the play, actually, with the stuff from the Perfectly Pears. So let's take a look. We're going to use these little small pears. I think they're super cute. And for that, I decided to use more Petal Pink cardstock to stamp on. So we're going to get back our Old Olive ink, and we're going to stamp the outline of the pears, whoops, in the Old Olive. Just like that. I mean, you don't even really have to fill them in. They're so cute. But we've got the outline going, and now we just need to, there is a stamp that fills in the center, and I love this stamp, the center of the pears. It's really a neat, it gives a variation of color, okay? And you just hover it over there. Look how pretty that is. This is Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to put this up so you guys can see it. Do you see the variations in color that that stamp gives? I don't know why it keeps flying away. I really like it. And then I'm going to go back in just for some added color, and I'm going to use my Old Olive Stampin' Blends alcohol markers and just color my leaves in, because otherwise they're not really colored. And I just thought it looks better if you color in your leaves, and it just takes a second. So I'm using the light, and I'm going to go back with the dark and color the stem. And this is a little tiny leaf right there. Okay, that's the light Old Olive Stampin' Blend, and here's the dark one. Sometimes the lids are, I have to pull tight. Hello, Vicki, good to see you. So I'm going to use the dark just to color this little stem, and it really, I think it really kind of, it just looks good. It highlights the stem, and you can just add a little bit of color elsewhere, a little darker, just to give a little shading. Doesn't that just look sweet? And then we're going to pull in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because we're going to cut these little pears. They have their own die, which I think is so fun. I like the big pears, but I don't know. These are just so cute, and they have the leaves right on the stamp, which I really like. The large pears in the set, you cut your leaves separately. And I thought it was just, for making a quick card, I like that the leaves and the pears are all together. And that's all the die cutting that we're doing. And there is our little mini pears. Aren't they just so cute? I'll just put them up there. They're just so darling. So we're going to put those over our ribbon, and then I went ahead and did the die cutting for this grid. This is one of the dies. Let me show you. I don't think we looked at the dies. Here are the dies that go with this set, in addition to the one we just used. But this is a little grid. I guess it's just called a little grid. And I just think it looks kind of, it just adds a little something something under there. So I'm just going to put it there, and then I went ahead and pre-cut this label. There are 2 label dies, which I think are great. I love it when they include label dies. Let me see, is this on the right side or yeah, it has a little ridge, kind of a little embossed ridge. And we're going to stamp this with thank you in our old olive. So let's get that out. And I have an extra one in case I make a mistake. I'm always, you know, you never know. I tried stamping first and then cutting, and that was a little bit harder. So it was easier for me in this case to cut the little label first and then stamp because I could line it up a little better. Okay, here we go. Let's see. There we go, perfect. Thank you. And now all we have to do is adhere these onto our card. So what I want to do is adhere the little grid thing to the pears with glue. And then I can lift the pears up on Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a little glue in here and set the pears right behind that. I mean the grid right behind the pears. So they're glued on to the back there. And then it makes it easier, and everything then is lifted up, both the grid, I'm calling it a grid, I guess it's a grid, and the pears. So let's get some Stampin' Dimensionals for that. The weather's very dry, so I keep putting my lid back on my glue so that the little tip doesn't dry out. So you can just put your dimensionals right over, and it right over the little grid thing, and it gives it even more of a secure adherence really to the pears. And I think we only need 2. And these 2 little dimensionals are going to go above and below the ribbon. They should, if I did it right. And we're just going to tip it kind of like that. Okay. And now we have our thank you. And for this, I'm going to use 3 little mini dimensionals to adhere this little guy, because it is kind of thin. Oh, hi Barbara. Yes, it's a bundle called Perfectly Pears. It's a newly released this month in online exclusive, and we're really using the whole suite, paper, ribbon, everything. And that's called Painterly Pears. The names are close, so you have to kind of pay attention. And then we can put our thank you really wherever we want. I put it in the center on the other card. I think I'll do that again. Just put it right in the center. And this time I'm going to add, well, I could still add these. I don't know why. I was also going to add these other Darling Duckling embellishments. These are the low profile dots. No, these are in color flat pearls. But these are awfully cute because they're more sparkly. Let's use these. And we'll take 2 little small ones and put one on each side of that little thank you there. They've got 2 sizes, small and large. But I think the small looks better here. And I don't think we need a 3rd one because we're really just focusing on that label. And then we do need an inside piece to our card, right? So here is a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm just going to stamp this with the pear outline in the right corner like that, and old olive ink. And then let's also do the same for our envelope here. Here's our envelope, but we'll do it in the left-hand corner this time. Turn my stamp around. There we go. So you could stamp the color, the inside in, but you really don't need to. You could color it like that, but I don't think you need to. So all we need to do is now adhere this to the inside of our card. I think it gives it a finished look when you have a piece of basic white or something to write on that you add in. I think it gives a real finished look to your card. So we'll just center that right in there. Okay. There we go. And so here's our card right there. And then let's look back at our, what we decided was called a card holder. No, you guys, what was, not card holder, I'm calling it a card holder, but we called it like a card folio, a card pocket, card pocket, yes. So here's our little pocket, and we can slide this in. And then I had the other 3 cards that I made. I didn't make them here on this video, but they're just the same, see, that one is the same pattern, very same design rather. Just using some of the different papers. And this one, I just used a circle punch there. And then this one, I used a half circle punch down below, just to show off these beautiful, beautiful papers. And so you can just fit 4 cards in there. I'm going to put this one behind. And there's your little folder, and then you just tie your bow. Let me tie our bow. And so the prize this week will be the folder and 1 card, not all 4, because I need to keep those for demonstration purposes. So if you put the word prize, you'll be entered, entered to win the little pocket folder, card pocket, and 1 card inside. And let's trim this little edge off. When you tie the bow, then the lengths of the ribbon look different. So there's the little folder. Isn't that cute? The little pocket folder. Okay, let's come back up. Just getting a little something in my throat. Thank you guys for watching. I think I love that. I love this project. It's one of my favorites, but a lot of my projects are my favorites. But I love this paper. It's so pretty. I just love it. Okay, we need to give away a card. And last week was the 4th of July, so I didn't come on. So this is from June 27th. And this was a fun fold that we did, because I try to do fun folds on Friday. And this was a little fun fold card that we did right here. And it turned out, I think, really, really cute. Let's put the correct one on the outside. There we go. And the winner of our card this week from the 27th of June is Pam Raylick. Pam, congratulations. I so appreciate you guys watching and hanging out with me for a little while we make cards together. And so I like to go ahead and give you gifts. Barbara, do I share my tutorial? This is the tutorial. It's on YouTube. We're broadcasting to YouTube and to Facebook at the same time. So it'll be permanently on YouTube. I don't do a written tutorial. It's just, I only do those with my classes to go. If you want written tutorials, then you'll want to take my classes to go. But I gave you all the measurements in this video, so I'd love to hear if you made the pocket, the card pocket, and the card that goes inside, and how it turned out for you. So congratulations, Pam. I'll get this out to you. I have your address. And thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see